All right, welcome to class. I'm gonna fix this a little bit. All right, so I wanted to start today with a little bit more of just a warm up to get us ready. So standing up, just separate the feet a little bit wide apart. And we're just gonna do kind of a squat a little bit, and it doesn't have to be too deep at first. We'll get to a point later where we're doing even a little bit more. So just bend the knees enough and check that your knees are over your ankles. Start with the hands in prayer. And we're just going to take a big inhale, straighten everything up, reach up, big breath in, and then as you exhale, sweep the arms down, bring them back to prayer, coming back to your squat. We'll do that a few times. Inhale, straighten everything, exhale, back to your squat. Inhale, exhale. And then inhaling, maybe you can separate the feet a little bit more and come down, exhale. Only if you're feeling ready to do that, and start moving the feet a little tiny bit more apart. Just maybe do two more like this. Inhale, exhale, squat down again. Last time like this, inhale, exhale down. And now we're just going to stay here, working on lowering down a little bit more. So inhale, you can just come up a little bit. Exhale, try to sink it down a little bit. Inhale, exhale. Just going up and down with your breath a few times like that. And the lower down you go, you're going to feel more stretch and start to warm up also the knees a little bit. And then stay down for a couple breaths. Good. And finally, straighten everything up and bring the feet more together, and we'll come into our usual fighting stance to start with. As before, doesn't matter which foot you put first, in front first, because we're always going to switch and do the other side. So you can start either side. Couple things to review. We're always going to keep the knees a little bit bent. We're never going to lock out joints at all, whether it's your elbow, your knee, or anything. Don't think of locking out ever, but especially the knees need to stay a little bit springy so you can be ready to move at any time. Also, a little bit light on the feet. You want to even think of maybe eventually incorporating like a little bit of movement in between your combinations if you're feeling ready for that. Otherwise, I'm going to keep a little bit of engagement in the front body, almost like you're about to do a crunch, but you're not really rounding the spine, but just tightening enough like you're about to. Chin a little bit tucked. Hands are going to stay up, protecting your face, elbows down to protect the ribs. And after you do any hand technique, just bring that fist right back into this protective on guard position. Okay, so as usual, we're just going to start with a few bounces, lifting the heels up and down, keeping all that posture and form in mind, just bouncing up and down a few times, and then switch and do the other side. Same way. One side might feel more natural for you to be on. The other side is, you know, a little maybe awkward feeling. So we want to try out both sides. Okay. So let's get ready and start with our first punches. As usual, we're going to start with our jab. So the front hand, whichever hand it is, right or left, you're going to do jab. At the same time, you're swiveling on the ball of your front foot and turning to face more to the side. And then bring it back, starting position. So let's just try 10 jabs with the front hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to sides. Same way. Let's try one jab really slowly just to get everything set. Turning to the side and then coming back. So your starting position, body's kind of angled a little bit. Okay, let's try 10 jabs on this side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Go back to the first side. You can do little bit of bouncing with the feet if you want to. Now we're going to add our backhand punch. I think it's going to be, I'm going to call this a cross, okay? Because that's sometimes what it's called in boxing parlance. I think I was just calling it punch before, but these are both punches. So let's say jab, cross with the backhand. All right, so let's try 10, and just making sure when you do your cross, you're turning to face more square towards the front. And then back to your starting position, always hands up. Okay, let's try it. Jab, cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And switch other side, other foot in front. Jab, followed by cross. The other hand is always up, protecting the face. Excuse me. All right, let's try 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And switch back to the first side. All right. So now we're going to do 2 different punches. It's going to be the same pattern of front hand and backhand, only now we're going to do hook, uppercut. Okay? So to set up for the hook, you're actually going to turn a little bit towards the side of your front leg. The front hand gets ready for hook. Arm is parallel to the floor. Then with your backhand, uppercut. Okay, so let's try it 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. And switch sides. Same way, front hand, going to do a hook. So you want to actually turn a little bit, almost like the face of the other side, the side of your front leg, so you can get momentum behind that hook, and then uppercut with your backhand. Okay, let's try it 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. Back to the first side again. Now we're going to put those 2 parts together. Okay. So we're going to do jab, cross, hook, uppercut. So 4 punches, putting the 2 combinations that we already did together into a longer combination. Let's try 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Switch sides. All right. So on this side, again, same way, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good. So I want to introduce something a little bit new this week, the bob and weave, okay? So let's angle this a tiny bit more. So in boxing, in fighting, you might have to duck sometimes. Just plain ducking would just be bending the knees to go straight down and come back up. We're going to do it with a bob and weave, which means we're going to be doing a little bit like a U-shaped motion like this. So we're always going to be doing it first towards the side of your front leg. So with your hands up, make sure you bend both knees and do a little scoop or U-shaped movement over to the side of your front leg and then coming back. Okay, so let's just try that 10 times on both sides. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, switch sides. And you notice that you naturally are going to be swiveling a little bit on the balls of the feet. So as always, you want to stay a little bit light on the feet and don't try to plant yourself into the floor or lock into any particular position with your feet. All right, so on this side, again, going towards the side of your front leg and then back again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, back to the first side again. So you'll notice the more you bend your knees for the bob and weave, the more your cardio is going to get bumped up. Okay, so it's just like kicking, the more you're using your legs. So if you want that, then you try to go down lower. If you're just, trying to get your bearings, first time you've done this, you can keep it fairly high and just try to get a little bit of that U-shaped motion. So now we're going to add the bob and weave to the beginning. After you do your bob and weave, come back to here, front leg kick. And then we'll do our regular hand combination that we've done before, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Okay, so we'll take it slowly the first couple times so you get the rhythm. Okay, so 1, bob, weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. All right, 2, front kick, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 10? It is 10. I think it's 10. All right. It's easy to lose count sometimes. All right. There goes Oreo for her walk. All right. So other side. Same way. Again, the bob first goes to the side of your front leg and then back. Front kick, jab, cross, hook, punch, uppercut. All right. Let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'All right, and switch back to the first side. So we're going to continue that same combination, adding on more at the end. So the end is your uppercut, your backhand. After the uppercut, reach forward, grab your opponent's shoulder, back leg, knee kick. All right? Back leg, knee kick. As that foot goes back to the floor with your front arm, elbow. All right? Roundhouse elbow to the face. Okay? So again, we're just adding knee kick, elbow at the end. Everything else is the same, including bob and weave at the beginning. So let's try it. Ready? 1. It's hanging on the hat stand thing by the closet. Sorry. Oreo was attacking it. All right, let's start again. I think we just did 1. So let's start from the beginning. 1. Front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, continue reaching forward, knee kick, elbow. All right, 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. I left out the kick, sorry. 7. Front kick. There we go. 8. 9. 10. 'Good, and switch to the other side. All right, so again, bob and weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, reaching forward now on this side, knee kick, roundhouse elbow strike to the face. All right, let's try it. Ready? 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, 10, 'All right. All right, I'm going to grab some water real fast, and we'll continue. All right. So now we're going to add a little bit at the end. Shouldn't be too hard to remember because it kind of flows naturally. So you'll remember our last technique on the last combination was elbow with your front arm. That fist from that arm next is going to come out, boom. You're striking the outside of your fist against someone's head, right here. So the arm doesn't necessarily straighten out. It probably will stop with a slight bend in the elbow. All right, and then backhand finishes with your cross punch again. All right, so this is more of a karate technique, not a boxing technique. Striking with the outside of the fist, call it hammer fist. So just remember, after your elbow, that fist is already cocked back here. It's going to have a nice momentum behind it as you come out and try to hit face level with that outside of the fist. All right, so make sure you know it's like the pinky side of your hand. All right, otherwise, same combination. All right, so we'll do the first one a little bit slowly just to get everything together. All right, so 1, bob, weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, knee kick, elbow, hammer fist, cross to finish, and then come back. All right, let's try it again. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so it's 11 techniques. You'll notice that after your hammer fist, you can do the punch right away. It's almost like you start the movement for that last punch almost like before the hammer fist would strike, right? It follows very quickly, that last technique. All right, ready? 3, hammer fist punch. Good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm trying to do my elbow already. It's hook punch, uppercut, knee, elbow, hammer fist punch. Was that 9? I think it was 9. Okay, 10. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, so first one slowly so we get it all together. 1, bob and weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, reach, knee kick, elbow, hammer fist punch. All right, 2, 3, 4, coming out of my ear. 5, 6, uppercut. I was trying to cut to the chase. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'and come back. Awesome. Okay, let's check the time. Okay, so we're going to add one thing, and this will be the last big combination we do. Actually, we're going to change the end a little bit. And then we'll do a little like couple moments of just throwing any technique you want before we come down to do some stretching and other stuff. So we're going to change the ends of the combination a little bit so we can add our back kick. All right. So here, right here at the end, when you would come around with your elbow, you're going to continue turning with that movement of the elbow and turn on your front foot. Make sure my feet are visible. So here, as my elbow comes around, I'm going to continue turning. I'm going to turn so much that my front foot is now going back this way. My heel is pointing towards my opponent where the screen is, right? So then the other leg, lift the knee, and that foot is going to come back and do your back kick. So it's coming from your back leg. All right, so just to review that one part, we're going to do the whole combination up to this elbow, same way. Continue the turning, back leg, knee up, back kick. Then come forward, hammer fist, punch. All right, so the hammer fist punch will be on the other side because we've turned around. All right, so let's do the whole thing slowly so we are sure that we have this whole combination. So from the very beginning, starting on your first side, so I always just usually start with my right foot back, left foot forward. That's my first side. So from here, we're going to do bob, weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, knee kick, elbow, continue turning around, front foot, turn so much your heel is going forward now, back kick, bring the kicking leg down in front, turn, hammer fist, punch. All right, so when we finish, we're on the other side, okay? Right, so I started with my right foot back. When I finish this whole combination, my left foot is back. So instead of finishing the combination and going like this and moving back again, switching feet, we're going to stay on the side where you land. All right, so we're going to alternate back and forth between the sides. Instead of 10 on one side and 10 on the other, we're going to alternate. Okay, so we'll go slowly the first few times to make sure you got it. I'm going to do the same combination, but it's going to alternate sides. When you finish, though, depending on your space, you might need to move straight back. But when you do it, don't switch your feet. Okay? All right. I'm going to talk you through it. So this is the first one on the first side. Ready? 1, bob, weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, knee kick, elbow, turn, back kick, foot comes down in front, hammer fist punch. All right, that was 1 on our first side. So I'm just going to count all the way through. So we're going to go up to 20 because we're doing 10 on both sides. So now your other foot should be the back foot. All right. So if you mess up and do the same side twice in a row or something, it's not a big deal. We're not going to worry about it. But we are going to do 20 reps, and hopefully you'll do some on one side and some on the other. All right. So 2, bob, weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, knee kick, elbow, continue turning, back kick, hammer fist punch. And now you're back on your first side again. 3, bob, weave, front kick, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, knee, elbow, turn, back kick, bring the foot in front, hammer fist punch. You're on your other side. 4, turn into your back kick, hammer fist punch. All right, 5, turn, kick, hammer fist punch. Back up. 6, all right, 7, all right, 8, back up again, 9, oops, now knee kick, elbow turn, kick, hammer fist punch. 10, all right. Let's start at 1 again now. All right, so it's the second half, but I'm going to start at 1. 1, oh, I forgot the back kick. There we go. All right, on the other side. 2, all right. Almost done. 3, part of the challenge is just keeping your focus. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 'All right, last one on this side. Doing awesome. 9, and finally, Oreo won't get out of the way. Last one. All right, 10. And come back and finish. Finally, shake it out. All right, I think it took long enough time to do that last set. That is the end of our fighting technique part of class. We're going to remain standing just for a couple moments to start to cool down, and then we'll come onto the floor, onto your mat, and finish with some more stretches. So awesome job. Take your feet wide apart, feet angled out to the side. This is going to be wider than when we started, right? At first, I'm going to do the same little bend of the knees and then go over to one side. So this opposite leg straightens out. All right, and just take a moment there. Turn completely to face towards this side, hands down, swivel onto the ball of your back foot. And then turning forward again, sink down, squat down on the bent leg. This leg is straight and you're on the back of your heel with the foot going up. And just take a couple breaths there. Good. Using your hands, come through center again, and then go to the other side. Turn. And facing forward again. Maybe squat down a little bit more into this leg. This heel might come up, that's fine. And on the ball, on the heel of the other foot, let foot flex up and take a couple breaths there. Very good. Coming through center again, hands to the middle, straighten your legs. Reach the trunk forward and then exhale, folding down any amount. Good. And then grab your mat or go to your mat and come down. If you have yoga blocks, have one close to your mat. We're going to use it in a few moments. If you don't have one, no big deal. You could also use like a pillow from your couch or something like that, or nothing if you don't have anything handy. I'm going to move my mat further back here. Okay, so coming onto your mat. Actually, let's start kind of like what we just did. The feet wide apart, feet turned out a little bit. We're going to go back to this second position. So going over to one side, swivel. So you're in a long lunge position with your hands down. Then drop that back knee down to the floor. And we're just going to come up to a crescent lunge. You can have the hands on the front knee if you need it for balance or stability, or you can bring the arms straight up. Take a couple breaths. You can stay just vertical in the upper body, or maybe take it into a little bit of that back bend in the upper spine. So thinking of keeping the lower back long, not really back bending too much in the lower back, bringing that into the upper back. All right, so hands back down, and we're going to take it to the other side. So tuck the back toes, walk the hands around, bend the other knee, and swivel to face towards that side. Same way, drop the back knee, and raise yourself up, either keeping the hands on that front knee or arms all the way up. Reaching up as if someone's pulling your hands up towards the ceiling. Finding a lot of space, and then optional, tilting back ever so slightly, lifting the sternum up, and then finally hands down again. All right, we're going to take both feet back, tuck the toes, and lift up to your downward facing dog for a moment. A little bit of space between the feet. Just take a couple breaths, lengthening out, lifting the hips. Think of the tops of the thighs, lifting up and back, and the heels releasing down. Good. And then knees down to the floor and come to sit up. We're going to go all the way down to the floor to sit. So just sitting off to one side, swing the legs around in front. Jiggle those legs out a little bit. Taking a basic forward fold. So first, check to make sure you're sitting up nice and straight. Try to find an L shape in the body. If you need to sit on a cushion or blankets or something for that to happen, go ahead and do that. Inhale again, reaching the arms up so much, feeling like you could just lift the rib cage up away from the pelvis, tiny bit more. And then exhale, start to fold forward, keeping everything, the whole spine in line, including the head, and reaching for your calves, ankles, feet, wherever you can reach, taking a moment to fold forward. If you're holding on to your legs somewhere or feet, go ahead and let the elbows bend out to the sides and see if you can pull yourself any amount more forward. And release and come back up. All right. Something happened on my screen here. Let me just check this out. And you can come onto your back now to finish up. Okay, good. I'm back. All right. Coming onto your back. Go ahead and bring the knees in, hug the knees in towards your chest. Taking a couple moments there. And then let the knees fall away from each other. So options are to use the hands to the inside gently to press away, if that feels okay. If that's a little too intense in the hip joint or anywhere, you could just use the hands on the outside to kind of just gently support the leg so you're not going into a too intense sensation there. I'm going to go for a little bit of this gentle action here, pushing away. And then slide the hands around to the outside and behind your knees. Hug those knees in towards your sides now. So the knees are actually a little bit wider than your torso. Hugging in. If the tailbone starts to curl up off the floor because you're hugging in so much, just back off a little bit so the tailbone can be releasing down towards the floor. It doesn't have to be too extreme. And then lift the feet up to come to your happy baby. So the soles of the feet are facing up towards the ceiling. And you're just hugging the legs down. Option to just keep the hands here or reach all the way up to the outer edges of the feet. And take a few breaths in your happy baby, pulling the feet down as if the knees could just descend right down to the floor to either side of you. All right, so now what we're going to do is just let go of the right foot. You're still in a half happy baby shape with your left leg. Okay. Slowly start to straighten this right leg out on the floor. You might not want to go all the way straight, but you're just trying to press it down as much as possible. And now we're going to start to take the left leg across. So the left hand is still holding onto this leg, either the foot or behind the knee here. I'm going to bring it across, and eventually the right hand will take over, okay? So you might reach to the outer edge of the foot. You might still just be holding on behind the knee. Either way, you're just going to bring it across, across, across. The knee can stay bent, and you're coming into a supine twist with the left foot coming down towards the floor. So since we kept the knee bent, the foot might plant down onto the floor. The sole of the foot might land on the floor. If it doesn't, it's no big deal, but it might just naturally do that, which means the knee is going kind of up, pointing a little bit up towards the ceiling. We're just going to stay with the twist for a moment. So bring the left shoulder down towards the floor. Maybe it doesn't touch, that's okay. And the left arm just reaches back behind you. And just hold that for a few breaths. All right. Now, you're going to hold on to that left foot or leg as you roll onto your back. Right leg bends in again, so you will end up with the left ankle on top of the right thigh, close to the knee. So we're landing in sort of a figure four shape. So we'll just go ahead and do our figure four stretch here. So the left foot that's on top stays flexed, and you reach around the right thigh and just start to hug in any amount there. The left hand or maybe the left forearm, whatever feels available, can also press gently on the inner knee to press away. Couple breaths. Good, and then lower down. Checking how we're doing. Okay. Now we're going to return all the way back to our happy baby for a moment. So we can start from the same place, either holding behind the knees or the foot. And now hold onto your right foot, bring the left leg down to the floor. Try to straighten it out as much as you can. A half happy baby shape. And then bring that leg across. So the leg comes across and you can switch hands. So the left hand is controlling your right leg now, either on the foot or wrapped around the back behind the knee. And then bring it all the way across into your twist. And maybe the sole of the foot plants down onto the floor. So the supine twist, usually when we do a supine twist like this, we're dropping the knee down to the floor, which is going to, it's, you know, great twist to do, nothing wrong with it, but it's going to stretch a different area. This way, you're feeling it in a different area of the hip, trying to keep the knee more up towards the ceiling. Right shoulder comes back down towards the floor, right arm reaches back behind you. Take a couple breaths. Good. Now, holding on to the right leg, you're going to roll onto your back again, bend in the left leg so that you can come to that figure 4 shape again on this side. All right, so here we are. Right foot stays flexed, so it protects your knee. And you're going to bring that left leg in, either holding, hi, Oreo, hi, around the thigh, or the shin, whatever you can reach. And again, maybe right hand can gently press away here if you feel like that's something that would benefit you. Not necessary to do that. Good. And then finally, release both legs down to the floor. Keep the knees bent. And if you have that block or some other prop that you could use, we're going to do a supported bridge in a moment. So have that handy to one side of you. First, we're just going to do our regular bridge. So this can be any height, feet and legs parallel, hip width apart. You can hold the edges of your mat. You can curl the fingers underneath, or just press the palms down into the floor with the arms straight. And push into the feet, lifting the hips up. Any height. Totally fine to close the eyes in your bridge. It's better actually to not turn your head in bridge or any pose that's putting this kind of pressure on your upper shoulders and neck area. So you might as well just close the eyes, keep the gaze relaxed. It might help you lift up higher into your back bend. And then take a breath and lower down. And now we'll do supported bridge for a few breaths. So this is when you're going to take your block and slide it in under your sacrum. You can just rest in a supported bridge. So it doesn't have to be too high. You can turn the block up higher if you want. We're starting to ease into the last few minutes of class, so it might be time to just keep it kind of chill and stay low. Taking a couple breaths here. An option would be to straighten the legs. This might feel really nice, or it might kind of crunch you in the lower back. If there's anything uncomfortable in the lower back, it's really not worth it to do this pose this way. So you can just keep the knees bent. If it feels okay to straighten the legs out, go ahead and stretch them out, pressing the feet away so the legs stay active, like you're standing on your legs. The feet are flexed up. And taking a couple of breaths, giving this hip crease area just that moment to open up. The whole front body taking a little bit of breath, like the front of your body can finally breathe a little bit. And whenever you're ready, you can just start to bend the knees again. Lift up just enough that you can slide the block out from underneath and then come back down onto your back. So we're going to close with just a few moments in what's called constructive rest. So we can focus on our breath for just a few moments. So separate the feet wide apart, maybe almost as wide as your yoga mat, and then let the knees fall together. The legs are resting against each other. And stay there for a few breaths. I'm just going to mess with the music a tiny bit here. See if we can get it to be a little more chill for the last part of class. Taking a few deep breaths. In your constructive rest. We'll finish with just a couple things stretching out the arms and shoulders. So your legs are going to stay as is, kind of just chilling out. And then on a big inhalation, just lift the arms up towards the ceiling, spreading the fingers apart, and slowly over the course of maybe 1 or 2 even breaths, reach the arms all the way overhead, reaching away from you, and bringing the hands towards the floor. Depending on you, maybe the tips of the thumbs touch the floor. You're turning your palms to face towards each other. If your shoulders are a little bit tight, maybe the arms don't come down all the way to the floor. That's fine, just keep reaching them away. And then slowly bend the elbows and lift the head just enough so you can cradle the back of your head with your hands, interlacing the fingers. And then let the elbows fall open to the sides. And take a couple breaths here, letting the elbows fall down towards the floor, any amount. And similarly to when we had our legs opening up to the sides like this with our knees bent, it might be a little intense in the shoulder area. Try to stay with it. If it's really too intense, then you're just going to slide the hands out from behind your head and open the arms out to a T position. So the hands are still palm up. The inner side of the arm is facing up, like you have with your elbows bent. But there should be a little less intense on the shoulders. So you can always just stay here if you want. We did a lot of work with the arms held in front of us, doing our punches and everything. So this is just to reverse that a little bit. Last thing, optional, bend the elbows again and bring the arms overhead. So you're reaching towards opposite elbows. Maybe you can reach all the way to opposite elbows with your 2 hands. If it's hard to reach that far, just grab onto your forearms. One hand grabs the other forearm and vice versa. Either way, you're trying to lower the arms to the floor over your head. Again, it might be a little intense. Maybe the arms don't touch the floor. You don't have to stay too long if it's too intense. I'm just going to take a couple breaths here. And then keep a hold of your arms, however you're holding on, whether it's elbows or forearms, and lift your arms up so you can see them, and then switch so the other forearm is closer to you. I have to do that when I'm looking at my arms, because if I'm not looking, I get too confused. And then same way, lower the forearms down over your head, and maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. One side maybe touches and the other doesn't. Totally normal. Just breathe and notice What's going on in the two shoulders? Is there a difference? And using this moment also to expand in the rib cage on each inhalation. And then finally, we'll move towards a few moments of total relaxation. You can bring the arms down closer to your sides, turn the palms up, and then let the arms relax. Let them feel really heavy on the floor. If your legs are very comfortable where they are in constructive rest, you can stay there. If you prefer, you can also straighten your legs out on the floor, as in Shavasana. But if you're comfortable where you are, there's no reason you have to do that. You can just stay here and let the breath gradually become softer for the next few moments. And then moving super slowly, start to take a few deeper breaths and then roll over onto one side and eventually come up to sit. Keeping eyes closed or half closed at first. I'll just say namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for class. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.